everyone, and welcome to Season 3, Episode 35 of Pro Wrestling's Top 50. I'm your host, Travis McNeil, and today we continue our countdown of the top 50 matches in ECW history with match number 16 on our list, which is the ECW World Television Championship match between the champion Eddie Guerrero and the challenger Dean Malenko from the Hostile City Showdown 1995 event held on April the 15th, 1995. This is the match that would start it all. What a trend-setting match this was. Clearly inspired so many wrestlers that would come after it. Guerrero and Malenko meeting one-on-one for the first time in ECW, and in my opinion, it was the best match that they would ever have against each other. The others were great as well, but this was really it. ECW would strike gold with this match, right? They had this one. They would have countless rematches. They would have the Guerrero-Malenko Classic, where they would wrestle 3 matches over 2 days on, house shows that would get a commercial release. We would get the 2 out of 3 falls match at the ECW arena for their farewell, and it really felt like these guys would be, I hate to say it as corny as it is, destined to fight forever in ECW, should they not have both ultimately decided to go to WCW and give, the Cruiserweight division a shot in the arm over there. But this match is absolutely superb. So Eddie Guerrero had just made his ECW arena debut about a week ago in taking the television title from Too Cold Scorpio in a match that hit earlier on our countdown. Dean Malenko had lost the title to Too Cold Scorpio, so essentially this was him, cashing in his rematch clause, but he had the new champion to contend with. The sequences that these guys do in this match, watching it now, it's maybe nothing, super remarkable. We get, counter exchanges into kip-ups and cartwheels and standoffs and the fish out of water roll-up sequence and everything like that. And, you watch it in 2021 and you go, okay, how many times have I seen this? But you got to think, this was 1995 and these guys were innovating this, right? It was everybody else, Van Dam and Lynn and whoever else you want to, Styles and Daniels and anybody else throughout the independents or anywhere that would do this style and those sequences. This is where it really truly got its start, at least, on a mainstream level of something that was accessible for people to watch. We get, very splendid opening, almost a friendly competition between these guys with all of these counter exchanges. Malenko, he kind of ups the aggression a little bit with a slap to the face. And Eddie, I talked about this in the Scorpio match where Eddie came into ECW and probably thought he was going to play a heel, but, the crowd just took to him so well. So he does his heel tactics here. He gets, an eye rake. He does his boot twist, on Malenko's face while Malenko's on the mat. And we get, just the missed drop kick standoff, everything you could think of and that you would expect to see from these guys in this match in 95. Something that I think is just a great testament to how good these two are is there's a point in this match where somebody in the crowd starts chanting boring, right? The match wasn't boring. It was superb. But again, depending on who you are, you watch ECW for different things. So if you're watching it for the hardcore wrestling, maybe this technical catch-as-catch-can, hold for hold athletic wrestling isn't for you. So someone in the crowd starts chanting boring, and the crowd turns their attention from the ring to this other fan, booing at him and chanting, throw him out and everything. Dreads, if you don't know Dreads, he was this ECW arena patron in the early mid-90s that would often be shirtless, and he had these dreadlocks, and he would smear like weird hippie mud on himself, and he would point to the sky like Sabu all the time, and he's like pointing at the ring, telling the crowd, watch the match, watch the match. But Guerrero and Malenko, they did so well. They didn't allow all of these distractions to get in their head and mess with them. They continued to wrestle their match and were able, just through sheer force of will, pull the crowd completely back into it. Again, just a testament to how good they are, where I feel like a lot of indie wrestlers, would get distracted by what was going on or it would throw them off their game. Not these guys, just true professionals in every sense of the word for how they dealt with that. This match is so great, though, because it goes 20 minutes. It has these fast-paced counters. It slows down a little bit, but then everything starts to ramp up and it starts to build at such a good pace that by the time you get to the finish, you know, you're just salivating for more, right? They've given you just enough that you can be completely satisfied with this match, but have left enough on the table that you are willing to put your money down to see what else they have. And it's what's great about these two in this series that they did. So we get into some bigger moves. Malenko goes to work on Eddie's leg quite a bit. The struggle spots they do around that are so good, with, you know, Guerrero grabbing the bottom rope for everything it's worth, you know, while Malenko just tries to yank him by the leg to pull him into the ring to put on a submission. Eddie goes for tornado DDT, and Malenko just like hooks his leg while he's on the top rope to try to prevent it. It's just all really, really good. And there's so many little things that these guys do that you can pick up on in watching it that just really shows like, yeah, okay, you know, you block a tornado DDT, any wrestler can do that. But by having that, you know, mind, that wrestling mind to think like, well, if I grab the leg, it ties it all into that story. It's all so good. These two are so very, very good. We get Dean hits like a suplex over the ropes to the floor. We get suplexes on the floor. Eddie hits a huge dive off the top rope onto the floor. They trade brainbusters. Eddie gets the frog splash for 2. Dean keeps going back to the Texas Cloverleaf. Eddie turns that into a small package for a crazy hot near fall. We get top rope ranas by Eddie where, you know, he's selling the knee as he comes down on it. We get the gory special from Eddie that they turn into a beautiful roll-up fish out of water sequence. At this point, the crowd is losing their mind. They get a standing ovation. The crowd is chanting, you know, ECW, ECW, something that they would normally reserve for all of the table spots and all of the crazy hardcore spots, but they're chanting it just for 2 wrestlers who are out there wrestling, showing that ECW is about so much more than just the blood and guts, and it's great. And we get a big Eddie Guerrero. Dean has him in like an electric chair on the top. Eddie turns it around and do a twisting sunset flip powerbomb, gets 2, and the 20-minute time limit expires. And like I said, you know, time limit draws can often, you know, seem unfulfilling, especially, you know, when you've invested all this time in something, but it works. They gave you so much. You want to see it again, and again, you know, cha-ching, right? That's what ECW had in mind. We would get all of the rematches from these guys. But in my opinion, nothing would top Hostile City Showdown. They would do a 30-minute draw at Enter Sandman, which only ever aired in clipped formatting. They would do the Guerrero Malenko Classic on the house shows. They would trade the title in Florida and in upstate New York. And they would finally go 2 out of 3 falls one last time in the arena. That would again end in a draw to send them all, you know, both into WCW, like I mentioned. But this match is great. It stands the test of time. When I rewatched all of these matches, again, you know, the 2 title changes that they do in the summer, this match, and the 2 out of 3 falls, which is kind of like a greatest hits, but it works for what it is, really held up. The house show matches are a little tough to watch now in 2021, just because you don't have the commentary, the video quality's bad, you know, the crowd noise doesn't really come through. Those ones were a little tough, but everything else is so good. And this match is just absolutely wonderful. And again, you know, rest in peace, Eddie Guerrero. It just shows how wonderful he was and how well that crowd just connected for him. And Dean Malenko, for someone that is held in such a high regard by fans and wrestlers for being one of the, you know, the best technical wrestlers of all time. He was #1 in the 1997 PWI 500, if that means anything to you. But I still feel like now Dean Malenko was an underrated wrestler just because we have different eras of fans that, you know, a lot of my generation maybe doesn't keep up with wrestling anymore. So, you know, for the newer guys, they maybe don't know Dean Malenko, but holy heck, was he ever good. You can check this match out on the WWE Network. It could be on Peacock. It hit a couple of different commercial releases. It's on one of the Eddie Guerrero DVDs that the WWE produced, so you can track it down pretty easily, I'm sure. You can subscribe to my channel here on YouTube so that you don't miss a video. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Wrestling50, and please join me again tomorrow as we continue to count down Pro Wrestling's Top 50. Top 50.